we have different types of questions. For example, I was taught that illnesses reflect an attitude and an emotion. In addition, we were wondering about the indigo and crystal children who are born with a higher level of consciousness, and we were wondering what is going to happen in 2012. Teacher, when you were commenting about the dimensional planes, in one occasion I heard that somebody spoke about the dimensions. I heard that we were living in a world of various dimensions in addition to the one we live in. And at this very same moment, there are people existing in this same place, or when we are able to see spirits, it is because the dimensional planes are ruptured and the dimensions merge with each other. I wanted to know if when you were talking about the dimensional planes, were you referring to the same thing? At the present time exist the indigo children, and it is said that in this era of Aquarius are being born a group of super gifted children whose cerebral capacity and the percentage of the use of their brain is much higher. It is precisely that the emerging of these generations is going to allow us to make of our Earth a terrestrial paradise. Obviously, all of the diseases are related to a magnetic field, and also all the diseases are related to a mental and emotional attitude. An individual full of anger and violence does not have any idea of the negative effects that he produces in his liver. If we were to take a picture of the iris after the person became angry, we would be able to see how much bile was secreted by the gallbladder and the time that it takes the body to eliminate such substance. With respect to the individual who asked a question about the supplements to substitute a breakfast or a dinner with a shake, it's very important to know that in order to detoxify the body, the vegetables have to be fresh. When I spoke about the gangrene case and the breast cancer, it is absolutely necessary that the juices are prepared fresh and that nothing that is going to be ingested has some type of preservative, because in this manner this can be absorbed by the digestive system and enter directly into the bloodstream. The dimensions are 7, and we do not have any problem operating in the first, second, and third dimension. In other words, we perceive our reality through a length, a width, and a height, because the first 3 dimensions are physical. However, we experience a degree of difficulty when we begin talking about the 4th dimension. The 4th dimension is mental and physical. In the mental plane, the individual creates his project and then it becomes physically manifested. In other words, everything that becomes manifested in the 3rd dimension first was created in the 4th dimension, which is mental in nature. In the 4th dimension, the mental body is the one who creates. The speed of the mind is faster than the speed of light. In the 4th dimension, the mental and the physical is manifested. We have a greater degree of difficulty understanding the 5th dimension because it is purely mental. In the 5th dimension, everything can become true or real. In the 5th dimension, the poet, the artist, or anybody can manifest anything that he or she desires. He or she can create a piece of mystery from a full head of hair. He or she can create a great sea from 2 eyes. He or she can create a sky from a tear. In the 5th dimension, the individual can mold matter into anything, and everything can become a reality. In the 5th dimension, the individual can make 2 black guys bring down a mountain inconspicuously. In the 5th dimension, it is true that the eyes can bring down, and this implies a greater sense of understanding. We have yet a greater degree of difficulty understanding the 6th dimension because it is purely spiritual. As Saint Francis of Assisi used to say, brother tree, brother dog, because absolutely everything is united. At this level, there is no separation. So this degree of unity is representing the spiritual dimension. The seventh dimension is an absolute. So the dimensions of space manifest in any place. A spiritual evolution is related to a material evolution. Now, when a person dies and the people who is around is too attached to the individual who has died, the people around cry for her, misses her, and if the individual did not desire to depart, then suddenly the grandchild enters the living room where the grandmother used to sit on her rocking chair knitting, and then the child says, "Mommy, I saw my grandmother in her rocking chair knitting." Then the mother says, "How can this be possible?" It takes approximately 72 hours for our soul to detach itself from our physical body, and the soul of the individual can manifest or appear in the places where he or she used to live, and this manifestation can take place through the astral body of the individual. Paranormal phenomena of ghostly apparitions are not a speculation, so the individual makes himself present in the places that he used to live. For example, the uncle dies and nobody knows where the will is, and everybody is looking for this document. Then somebody goes to sleep and says, "Please, uncle, tell me where the will is." The next day, the individual gets out of bed looking for some socks, and without the will and the socks having any connection, the individual finds the will, and this information came to him from the etheric plane. All of this involves a greater knowledge, and in fact also includes opening the channels of communication as well as closing them. When an individual begins working without being prepared, then he runs many risks, because if he touches other individuals, if he is going to be conducting healings, or if he is going to perform a series of therapies and he does not know how to discharge himself, then the one who is going to need healing is him. The dentist, the masseuse, or the individuals who have to be touching other people have to have the right preparation in order to be able to energetically discharge themselves. A sick person becomes a vampire because he feeds upon the energy of the individual who is helping him. If the individual who is assisting others is not well rested and does not know how to remove from himself all these types of tensions, then the individual later on is going to need assistance. In this manner, the dimensions of space manifest themselves in everything. I want to emphasize to you to take advantage of the training school that starts this next Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Right now, they are going to give you the address, which is where we have the conference, since you do not have to travel very far. And you are going to have the opportunity to obtain this preparation. I will be visiting you regularly, and in the next workshop, the individuals who already were exposed to these workshops, then we can go into a deeper understanding of this information. However, I recommend that all the information that we covered today, you put it into practice. And one more time, I appreciate your attendance.